Hey, what's up, chat? Welcome to Unit 9, Day 3. In this lesson, we are finding the probability of two dependent events, okay? And so, dependent events are when you have one event that does affect the probability of the second event, okay? And so, here's the key. The reason that these are dependent and it does affect is because one item is going to be removed, okay? So therefore, your total is going to be decreased by one, okay? So this is what you need to remember. Here's the key. This is dependent because the item is not being replaced. It is being removed, it's being taken away, okay? And therefore, the total will decrease by one, which is going to lead to a higher probability of this event, okay? And we're going to see that later in the unit, all right? So here are the steps for finding the probability of two dependent events, okay? So first is we have to find the probability of the first event. Then next we are going to find the probability of the second event, okay? So all we're doing is finding the probability of each event, all right? Then we are going to multiply, okay, both of those, and then we are going to simplify, okay? And when we simplify, all right, that's if it's possible, or we may need to find which value is the decimal values of our answer choices, okay? Now, so let's look at the first one. Sophie has a box that contains 10 socks. What's the probability that she reaches into the box, grabs a black sock, and here's the key, does not replace the sock, then grabs another sock? So she grabs a sock, doesn't put it back, then she grabs another sock. All right, so we're finding the probability that she gets a black sock, okay? Then we're gonna multiply that times the probability that she then grabs a green sock. All right, so probability that she gets a black sock. Well, I have 3 black socks, so that is 3 out of how many total, which is 10. Okay, so we got 3 out of 10. She takes that black sock, so she loses 1 sock. And now what's the probability that she gets a green? Well, there are 5 green socks. And now because she just took 1 black sock, now she doesn't have 10, she now has 9. So the total is decreased by 1, and that is the point that we made up here. Okay, so it is going down by 1 because I removed it. And so now I'm going to multiply those. Okay, and here's where I encourage you to just take advantage of using your calculator here. All right, and so all right, so I'm just going to go 3/10, okay, times 5/9, and that is going to give me my probability, which is 0.16, and that 6 just keeps repeating, so I'm just going to put a line over it, okay? And so here, now if your answer was written as a fraction, all you would need to do is enter the fractions to where you can match up which fraction has this same value, okay? So if your answer is written as a fraction, that's okay. All you got to do is just figure out which one is equivalent to that decimal, all right? So there you go, all right? Let's do another one, all right? We got a deck of cards with 6 cards equally shaped. What's the probability that John pulls a star, then he puts the card aside, so he's not putting it back, and then pulls a heart? So we are looking for the probability of getting a star, not putting it back, and then the probability of getting a heart. Okay. So what's the probability of getting a star? Well, there are 2 out of 6 stars, all right? He's pulling one of those stars, so now you can imagine one of these stars are now gone because I just pulled it. Now, what's the probability of getting a heart? Well, I got 1, 2 hearts out of not 6 cards, but just 5 because I just pulled them. So now it's 2 out of 5. And so now I multiply these, and again, I can use my Desmos calculator, which I want to encourage you to do that, right? So I got 2 over 6 times 2 over 5, and that gives me 0.13, and it's just a 3 repeating. So I'll put the line over it, all right? Now, I've done the first two. I want you to pause the video, and I want you to do the next problems on your own, okay? So you're gonna be given, you got 5 examples here to do on your own. So I want you to pause the video and see if you can complete these on your own, and then use the rest of this video to check it. And just know, again, this is where you have to get some practice, or you get a chance to get practice. So make sure you pause it, all right? All right. So, all right, the shelf we're looking for, what is the probability of getting Cheerios? Okay. Then probability of getting Lucky Charms. Okay. Now, again, this question didn't say anything about putting it back. So if it doesn't say anything about putting it back, you need to assume that you don't. Okay. So I got 15 boxes of Cheerios, 5 boxes of Lucky Charms, right? So 15 over 20, because 15 plus 5, that gives me the total number, okay? And then possibility of getting Lucky Charms is 5 over 19, because again, I gotta remember, I just took 1 box away, so now I have 1 fewer box, okay? And then I'll save and to give you the exact answer once I pull up the Desmos calculator, and I'll do that all at the end in terms of figuring out the exact value, but this is what you should have set up, all right? A jar holds 15 red pencils, 12 blue, 5 orange. What's the probability of drawing an orange, okay, and a blue? Okay. And again, you gotta remember, it is not being replaced, so I'm gonna lose 1 after the first one. So the probability of getting an orange is 5 out of 30, okay? Then the probability of getting a blue is 10 out of 29. And again, that is 29 because I pulled out an orange pencil, and then this would be my answer, all right? All right, number 5, we're looking for the probability of getting a red tile times the probability of getting a green. Okay, so probability of getting a red one is 6 out of 20. Okay, times the probability of getting a green is 7 out of 19. And again, it is now 19 because I pulled it and I did not replace it, okay? So therefore it is dependent, all right? And then that gives me a probability, all right? Question number 6, what is the probability of drawing a red marble times the probability of getting a blue marble? Again, key without replacement, okay? All right, so probability of getting a red one is 10 out of 25. Then the probability of getting a blue one, okay, is 5 out of 24. Again, I lost 1 marble because I took 1 out, right, and that will give me my answer. And then lastly, Mr. Hines has 8 girls in a small group, 5 boys. What's the probability he calls on a girl? So the probability he calls on a girl to work out then a boy, all right? Again, if he is not calling on one person more than once, okay? So, all right? So, probability of him calling on a girl is 8 out of 13, okay? Because of the 8 plus the 5, right? That's 13. And then the probability of him calling out a boy is 5 out of 12 because I lose 1 after I called out the girl the first time. All right, and so then, again, because I said I'd give you the exact answers, okay? So you have the decimal. All right, so we got 15 over 20 times 5 over 19. All right, and so that gives me 0.197. Okay, and I'll stop there. All right, then we got 5/30ths times 10 over 29. And that is 0.057. Okay. Then we got 6/20 times 7/19. Okay. And that is 0.110. Okay. And then we got 10 over 25 times 5/24. Okay. Then we got 0.083 repeating. And then lastly, we got 8 over 13 times 5 over 12. And we got 0.256. Okay, all right, and that's it. And so in this lesson, we have learned how to find the probability of two dependent events. Let me know if you have any questions, and we out.